Located in the Crow Hill Community Garden, our architecture installation focuses on bringing the Crown Heights, Brooklyn community together to build something beautiful after a series of shootings in the area. The project consists of a canopy made of disposable handcuffs individually sponsored by participating members of the community to raise money for local organizations that educate youth about gun violence.
Here's how it works. We've designed a framework of fan compression members that connect with hinges to a base. These members are dependent upon the canopy to hold them up. Initial tension elements provide support as the canopy's latticework begins to fill in the gaps.
The disposable cuffs that make up the canopy will be connected together in a lace-like pattern. These cuffs will be donated by people in the community who will be able to purchase them in businesses around the neighborhood. People will have the opportunity to personalize their donation with a message and leave them in collection boxes for us to pick up.
Once a week, we will collect the donated ties and add them to the installation. Beginning in the spring of 2012 and extending through the summer, the canopy will flourish overhead as the garden's plants flower and grow underneath.
We believe that by inspiring people to work together for a good cause, we can build upon the already existing community-minded sentiment that exists in Crown Heights. We hope to encourage the neighborhood to continue developing in a positive direction by providing the framework for something that everyone can build together, making the neighborhood even more beautiful and generating money for a good cause. There were a couple shootings in our neighborhood after a parade. When we saw the shooting, we saw the reaction of the neighborhood, which the shooting kind of tore the neighborhood apart a little bit. In the way that, people didn't really know how to react to it. But so we basically decided that we want to do a project that would get everybody involved to do something nice together, and sort of work off of building something out of nothing. And we asked the garden if they would be interested in working with us, and they said yes, we could use their site.
And the great thing about that garden is that it was an abandoned lot for a really long time. It's on Franklin Avenue, which is sort of the main hub of businesses, and it was abandoned, just filled with garbage for a long time, and the people in the neighborhood decided that they wanted to do something about it, so they, through the process of trying to contact the person who owned the lot, eventually just took it over and made it into something that was great for the people in the community. So it has its own background of sort of coming from something that wasn't really utilized to its full capacity, to something that people decided together that they wanted to put some effort in to make it something that would be great. We thought that that would be sort of an excellent site to do something that, furthers that sort of idea of community.
Then we had this whole process of figuring out what the designing was.
And redesigning and trying to think about things that would make sense. We knew that we wanted it to be sort of generated by people that were adding little bits of it over time. So it needed to be something that was sort of like a blank canvas for people to add to. That's a little tricky because it's like, what is this when it's not in its fully developed form yet? You still want it to be something that's good looking and interesting even when it's not complete. And we went through so many iterations, It was kind of tricky actually.
One day I was walking down the street and getting into the subway, and I saw riot cuffs just like chained up to the subway post, and we were sort of like, what else could we make this out of? What is it gonna be made out of? And so we saw them there right next to a planter box of the Garden Association. So I took a picture of the planter box and the cuffs and sent it to Kristin, and it was immediately we knew that we were gonna make them out of that because it has such like a strong connection to, the gun violence issue and just general problems that we deal with in the neighborhood.
We decided that since it's such a large, substantial piece, that we needed to do a full-scale mock-up. So I think on December 23rd, on a day that wasn't so cold, we took a trip to Home Depot and built enough material to build a portion of this. And we're outside for 7 hours just putting it together, and it worked. And we had it up, and it was big, and it was awesome, and it totally worked the way we anticipated, so it was a great feeling.
And as far as funding goes, we're applying for grants, and we're doing a Kickstarter campaign, mostly just, self-initiated fundraising. Yeah. We're sort of hoping that it will turn into a place where people can gather the community together and, use it I mean, specifically in this case, we're working against gun violence, so hopefully those sort of conversations will be able to happen underneath, and it's bright and colorful, and it will attract attention. Is sort of the main idea.